heaven and help. There is a correspondence of heaven with all things of the earth. 103. What correspondences has been told in the preceding section. It has also been shown there that each thing and all things of the animal body are correspondences. The next step is to show that all things of the earth, and in general all things of the world, are correspondences. Animales, derived from anima, the soul, and used in the sense of animate or living. Editor. 104. All things of the earth are distinguished into three kinds, called kingdoms, namely, the animal kingdom, the vegetable kingdom and the mineral kingdom. The things in the animal kingdom are correspondences in the first degree, because they live. The things in the vegetable kingdom are correspondences in the second degree, because they merely grow. The things in the mineral kingdom are correspondences in the third degree because they neither live nor grow. The correspondences in the animal kingdom are living creatures of various kinds, both those that walk and creep on the ground as well as those that fly in the air. These are not named specifically as they are well known. The correspondences in the vegetable kingdom are all things that grow and flourish in gardens, forests, fields and meadows. These, too, are not named as they are well known. The correspondences in the mineral kingdom are metals, more and less noble, stones, precious and not precious, earth of various kinds and also waters. Besides these, there are also the correspondences prepared from those by human activity for use, such as foods of every kind, clothing, homes, buildings and many other things. 105. The things above the earth as the sun, the moon, the stars, and also those in the atmospheres as clouds, mists, rain, lightning and thunder are likewise correspondences. Things resulting from the presence or absence of the sun, as light and shade, heat and cold are also correspondences as well as those that follow in succession therefrom, as the seasons of the year which are called spring, summer, autumn and winter, and the times of the day, morning, noon, evening and night. 106. In a word, all things that come into existence in nature, from the least to the greatest are correspondences. They are correspondences because the natural world with all things belonging to it comes into existence and continues in existence from the spiritual world, and both worlds from the divine. It is said to continue in existence also because everything continues in existence by virtue of that from which it comes into existence, for continuing in existence is a perpetual coming into existence, and because not the thing can continue in existence from itself, but from something prior to itself. Thus from the first. Therefore, if separated from that it would utterly perish and vanish. All things that are in the world and its three kingdoms correspond to the heavenly things that are in heaven, that is, the things in the natural world correspond to the things in the spiritual world. By correspondences the natural world is conjoined to the spiritual world. For this reason all nature is a theater representative of the Lord's kingdom. 107. Everything in nature that comes into existence and continues in existence from divine order is a correspondence. The divine good that proceeds from the Lord makes divine order. It begins from Him, goes forth from Him through the heavens in succession into the world, and is terminated there in ultimates. The things that are there in accordance with order are correspondences. All things there which are good and perfect for use are in accordance with order, for all good is good according to use, while the form has relation to truth, since truth is the form of good. For this reason all things which are in divine order in the whole world and also partake of the nature of the world, have relation to good and truth. All things in the universe, both in heaven and in the world, that are in accordance with order, have reference to good and truth and to the conjunction of both, in order to be any thing. 108. That all things in the world come into existence from the divine, and are clothed with such things in nature as enable them to exist there and perform the use, and thus to correspond, is clearly evident from individual things seen in both the animal and vegetable kingdoms. In both there are things that anyone, if he thinks interiorly, can see to be from heaven. For illustration, a few things out of a countless number may be mentioned. First, some things in the animal kingdom. Many people are aware what knowledge there is implanted as it were in every animal. Bees know how to gather honey from flowers, to build cells out of wax in which they store their honey and thus provide food for themselves and their own hive even for the coming winter. That the new generation may be born, their queen lays eggs, and the rest take care of them and cover them. The whole hive lies under a certain form of government which all in the hive know by instinct. They preserve the working bees and cast out the drones, depriving them of their wings, besides other wonderful things which they have from heaven for the sake of use. For, throughout the world, their wax serves the human race for candles, and their honey for sweetening food. 2. And what happens in the case of caterpillars, vermiculus, the meanest creatures in the animal kingdom? They know how to get food from the juice of leaves suited to them, and afterwards at the appointed time to invest themselves with a covering and place themselves, as it were, in a womb and so hatch out an offspring of their own kind. Some are first changed into nymphs and chrysalides which spin threads, and this travail being over, they come forth clad with a different body and, furnished with wings, fly in the air as in their heaven. They celebrate marriages, lay eggs and provide for themselves a posterity. 3. Besides these specific instances, all creatures that fly in the sky know in general the food suitable for their nourishment, not only what it is but even where to find it. They know how to build nests for themselves, each species different from any other, to lay eggs in the nest, to sit upon them, hatch their young and feed them, and to turn them out of the home when they are able to be independent. They also know their enemies that they have to avoid and their friends with whom they may associate, and this from earliest infancy, not to mention the wonders in the eggs themselves in which all things lie ready in their order for the formation and nourishment of the embryo chick, besides innumerable other things. For who, thinking from any rational wisdom, will ever say that these things are from any other source than the spiritual world, to which the natural world is of service in wrapping around it a body that is derived from it, or for presenting as an effect that which is spiritual in its cause? The beasts of the earth and the fowls of the air are born into all this knowledge, while man, who is superior to them, is not. The reason is that animals are in the order of their life and have not been able to destroy what is in them from the spiritual world, because they have no rational faculty. Man, on the other hand, who thinks from the spiritual world, having perverted what is in him from that world by a life contrary to order, which his rational faculty has favored, must needs be born into mere ignorance and afterwards be led back by divine means into the order of heaven. 109. How the things of the vegetable kingdom correspond can be confirmed from many instances. For example, little seeds grow into trees, put forth leaves, produce flowers and then fruit, in which again they deposit seeds. These things take place in succession and exist together in an order so wonderful as to be indescribable in a few words. Volumes might be filled and yet there would be still deeper arcana, relating more closely to their uses, which knowledge would be unable to exhaust. Next, I will post an article that says, "There is a correspondence of heaven with all things of the earth too." Thank you.